What if, in the time it takes to blink, you shrink to the size of an atom? Not in a game, not in a movie, but right now. Stay with this thought, because at the end, you will discover something very strange about your normal, boring body. First comes the fall. The world around you stretches like melted chewing gum. The room becomes as large as a continent. Dust specks turn into mountains, and a single hair looks like a glass skyscraper. You keep shrinking, smaller than cells, smaller than molecules, until one molecule of water is the size of a whole city block. Finally, you arrive at the scale of an atom, and the first shock is simple. There is almost nothing here. From far away, an atom sounds solid, like a tiny marble. Up close, it is more like a huge, empty stadium. In the center is the nucleus, smaller than a fly in that stadium, full of positively charged protons and neutral neutrons, squeezed together by a very strong force that acts like the most obsessive hug in the universe. Around it is not a neat orbit of little balls. Instead, you see a fuzzy, glowing cloud. That cloud is where the electrons probably are, not where they are exactly, but where they have a chance to be. At this scale, nature stops giving exact addresses and starts talking in probabilities. You try to stand on something, but there is no floor, only invisible fields. The nucleus pulls you in with electric attraction, electrons push you away with their negative charge, and everything is buzzing with motion. The atoms around you vibrate like nervous drummers. What used to be a solid table is now a jungle of bouncing nuclei wrapped in restless electron clouds, all shaking because of heat. Warmth is no longer a feeling, it is organized chaos in slow motion. You decide to explore a human hand. From your atom size, the skin is a vast landscape of atoms linked together. You dive between them and discover that what we call a solid wall is actually mostly empty space, plus a lot of very rude electrostatic forces. When you try to walk through, the electron clouds of your own atoms crash into the electron clouds of the wall and say a very strict no. Solid matter is basically a very polite but firm security system made of charges that never actually touch but never let you pass. Just when you think you understand the rules, quantum tricks begin. You look at one electron. The moment you try to say where it is, you lose track of how fast it moves. When you focus on how it moves, you lose track of where it is. Reality at this scale behaves like a shy celebrity who never lets you see everything at once. Sometimes particles act like tiny balls, sometimes like waves that spread out everywhere. You are used to one object being in one place. Now you see that, on this level, nature prefers a menu of possibilities. You feel very fragile. A single cosmic ray that you never noticed at normal size could hit one atom and change everything about your tiny self. A random interaction could break a chemical bond and tear you apart. At atom size, you are finally big enough to see the machinery of the universe, but you're also small enough to be erased by it in an instant. Then comes the final thought. If shrinking to an atom makes the world look this strange, maybe the world was always strange, and you were simply too large to notice. Your body, your chair, your phone, your favorite cup, all of them are oceans of atoms acting out this quiet quantum madness every single second. You were already a walking cloud of probabilities held together by invisible forces. You just called it me. So, if you ever feel small in life, remember this. You are already built from countless atoms that contain huge empty spaces, wild quantum rules, and powerful forces. You do not need to shrink to atom size to touch that mystery. Every time you lift your hand or drink some water, you are already doing impossible things with impossible building blocks. The real twist is that the universe at atom size is not more magical than you. It is exactly what you are made of, and somehow you still manage to pay bills, forget passwords, and lose your keys. That may be the strangest physics of all.